Okay, so yesterday we have what is it? We have some discussions about the organizational um, what is it change. So today we are going to talk about organizational identity and culture. So some of you, as what I've got from the feedback from you, that you are already getting involved in the what is it organization, whether that is a students organization or religious or a church community organization. I will also want some feedback again, because today we are going also talk about the resistance, about individual resistance and also organizational resistance toward the change, right? So I'm very sure that, as what I mentioned earlier, that everyone here is unique, yeah, right? So you are a unique individual, everyone. Not everyone are very what is it very good at coping with change. Am I right? So it's just like when there's a change outside coming, that you have to get out from your comfort zone. It's not everyone can handle it, right? Like a significant change that we have to face right now in the pandemic situations, in which almost all of a sudden that we have to have a change on the way we are learning, our lifestyles changing and everything, and it's quite difficult for some people who are not having that kind of fast adaptability towards the environment. So probably I want to know your some of your experiencing in what is it? What kind of change that you have ever experienced in your life that is more significant for you, and how you cope with it? Maybe some of you want to share experience and feeling. Raise your hand, or you may also are very welcome to. And I also invite you to participate in the chat box if you want. We have Rolando. Hello, Rolando. How are you?
I'm fine, mom. About change, mom. I think behavioral change. I think I had not so quite good attitude when I was senior high school. And then when um, when I go to college, I think that's when the the point of my life where I think I developed it, and it's a long phase. I think it's a long process of change, but I think I'm fine now. I think I cope with change.
What kind of change is that?
I think um I'm more aware with respect now, and diplomacy and something like that. You know.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And then Nicha. Hello, Nicha.
Hello, ma'am.
Did I say your name correctly?
No po, ma'am. It should be Nika po.
Nikapo. Okay. Okay, Nikapo. Um, what are you that one person who can adapt with the change easily or not?
For me, I think I am, because I easily adopt like the expressions of my classmates when I transferred in DMSU when I was in first year, like their expression like kita na ganun po. Yung mga words ng Ilocano. That's it po.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Nikapu. So yeah, so not everyone can cope with the change that easily, and it's really depend on each person. And before we talk about organization, because when we talk about organization come from individuals, right? From individuals. So it is actually a knowledge of how to understand people. Before you understand other, you have to understand yourself as a human being, right? So that is actually the key. So that's why actually I want you to reflect on yourself, on your own experience in your life, to understand your feeling towards the change as a person first before we talk about a bigger a bigger community like organization. Okay, now I will share the screen. Right. I will join that also with my phone.
Recording in progress.
Okay, now we are here on the resistance to change. Okay, so one thing that you have to remember that resistance is a given, right? So as a human, uh, it is very normal for people to reject something, not to adapt or accept it immediately, and what is it, and internally put it as their, or integrate in their own self as their own value, because each of you now have your own value already, right? Rolando, for example, and Nikramapu perhaps have different perspective on something. So that's why when some change happen to you and forced to be internalized and you have to do it, some people are very resistant toward it. So we have to accept it as a
Kapay nagwalis Gretel.
sorry. Can I continue? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you. Okay, now we have two types of resistance. There are individual resistance and also organizational resistance. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, that people resist change because they fear of the consequences, right?
Apo no, di batch 1 pa lang ato ya. Amo dagar sa nga batch 2 dadak.
Ate Gloriel.
Eternal na ba kayo kung mag-block yung question na
Ay, sorry.
Okay. Thank you. So a change means we learn new habits and facing new situations, right? Like what we have today now. We are having a new situation in which you have to learn with this kind of stuff, Zoom meetings, Google Meet, online class, online assignment, and everything. So some people have to learn new habits and facing new situation. And learning new skills come with the uncertainty of being able to master those skills, right? So it's easy to see why change can seem threatening for some people because they have to get out from their comfort zone, they have to learn new things because change is not only about the change but also the consequences which follow it, right? So, and also furthermore, if individuals sense that there will be economic insecurity or risk regarding to the change, or if they don't trust management, so this could further add to the resistance. Yeah. So the model says that humans tend to prefer routines and accumulate habits easily. So change represents the unknown. I myself, I don't like something unknown. I want certainty, but and it could mean the possibility of failure. And this can cause doubt and thus fear, understandably causing resistance to the change efforts. Okay, so it is very understandable for people to be resistant with the change because of the fear that they have, and it's very human. And then number two is organizational resistance. So organization, regardless of the size, are composed of individuals again. Okay, one individual can be resistant. Can you imagine a group, a bunch of individuals who are also very resistant, and we call it as organizational resistance. Okay, so the extent to which individuals within the organization can appropriately manage change represents the overall organizational capacity for change. Now we move to some barriers in implementing change. Okay, so there are 4 stages of transition to effective change according to Bridges 1980. The first is, 4 stages. So now we are going to discuss about 4 stages of transitions to effective change according to Bridges 1980. The first is disengagement. So this stage involves breaking with the old organizational practices and behaviors. So it's very typical human responses exhibited will be refusal to engage with the change process, running away, quitting, seeking a transfer or taking early retirement, absenteeism and withdrawal of interest. Okay. Anyone can tell me about maybe experience when you are in the disengagement as the first stage of of transition to effective change? Have you ever feel or experience the disengagement when there is the first time you experience breaking with the old organizational practices and behavior, and then you have that refusal to engage? Okay, the first, Gloriel. Hello, Gloriel. Hello, Gloria. Okay, Gloria, the first time when you heard that university will give you regulation to do the online learning, how do you feel about it?
For me, mom, I think that it was okay for me because, can you hear me, mom?
Yes, I can hear you.
It was okay for me because I'm an introvert and I like to stay at home. So I think I didn't have any problems with adapting. And I also have an example for disengagement, ma'am.
Yes.
I was an engineering student before I shifted to AB English, and as an engineering student before, it was very different to the practices in terms of exam, in recitation, and performance too, AB English. So that's when I first experienced this engagement.
Okay, yeah. So, do you feel comfortable in that case, in that stage? Do you feel comfortable?
No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Because I also changed universities, so I didn't have anyone I know back when I was when I first entered DIMSU. So it was hard for me, but eventually I managed to adapt and find new friends.
Okay, good for you. Congratulations, Gloria. All right, so that is disengagement, and the second stage is this identification. So after making this break, usually individuals should loosen their sense of self so that they recognize that they are not who they were before. So you find out that you have what is it? That you're having a break, that you are not the one that you recognize before, that before the change comes. Have you ever experienced that? Probably some of you want to share experience that you have ever in this stage, in the disidentification stage. Hmm. Maybe Angelica. Hello, Angelica.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Have you ever, okay, can you give example from your own experience? Um, if you have ever in the stage of the transition, what we call as disidentification.
I think po, I have experience po about this identification. I am really an introvert person, ma'am. So it is really hard to find a job for me because I really felt difficult to be and to interact with other person. But when there's a friend of mine who really pushes me po to become an extrovert person because she told me that if you're an introvert person, you have lost a lot of job opportunity outside. So because of that po, because of that friend of mine po, um, I really became not totally an extrovert person, but little by little po, becoming a extrovert person po because of finding a job po.
Okay. I find out that many of you are introvert here in this class. Is that right? Are there many introverts here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But you are not an introvert anymore, Angelica. Are you still an introvert? Angelica, are you still an introvert?
Not totally, ma'am, but I'm escaping po. So I'm escaping in my introvert stage po. I'm becoming extrovert already po.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Yes po.
Okay. Okay, after you're losing your identity, and then you will find in the stage of disenchantment. Disenchantment is the third stage of individual change, in which individual further clear away the old, yeah, the old you. So the challenge assumption and create a deeper sense of reality for themselves by recognizing that what once was is no more. Something which they once valued has been taken away. Okay. So this enchantment is often associated with anger, which is easier to deal with when expressed directly, and if suppressed may come out in more indirect ways. Okay, like you are doing some protest, but you do not show it like directly because of your disenchantment toward it, because you're like what is it uh what you believe and the value that you have was is no more yours. So something which they once valued has been taken away because of the change. Okay, who can tell me or give experience on this stage of uh, transition? I think everyone has ever experienced disenchantment, right? Um, maybe Via Dori. Halo, Via Dori. Halo, Via Dori. Halo, Via Dori, are you there? Halo, Via Dori, are you there? Okay. Finalo. Finalo.
Yes, my
Well, yeah.
um enchantment. It was probably when um I was so um before I am not that confident, especially when I was in high school. But then when the time that I reached college, I realized that I had to possess confidence to survive. So that's my experience.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So then, how does this enchantment now give a change towards your life then? That you find
What
out,
was that, mom?
yeah. So how do you find out that this enchantment make you different person right now? That you are a new person.
Well, that disenchantment, mom, made me confident,
Oh,
and I
you.
guess
Mhm.
and outspoken.
Oh, more outspoken and confidence. Okay.
Yes, mom.
Okay. Was there an anger while you were in this stage?
Nothing, mom. Mom, what do you mean anger, mom? I don't understand.
Did you feel angry at the time when that was happened?
No, mom. I definitely understand that it's just part of life. When there are times when you don't feel like you're uh yourself, but that moment eventually you will realize that um life will push you to improve and evolve.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay. And then this is the last what is it? The last stage of transition, we call it as disorientation. Okay, so in this final state, you as an individual, we as individuals somehow feel lost and confused. So, well, I can say that from 1 to 4, they are not comfortable state. This orientation stage are also very not comfortable. Yeah, because but this stage is very necessary because one will move into the new transition state and to a new beginning. Okay, into a change. Okay, now let's move on to the barriers. So these are some barriers in implementing change. So someday when you are in a management of organization, you need to understand that when you and the policymakers or the top managers in your company want to apply the change, there are some barriers in implementing change. The first is inertia. So inertia is actually one of the most powerful forces that can affect individuals and organization. Yeah. Number two is lack of clear communication. So that's why clear communication is very vital. It's not only in the bodies of organization, but communication, clear communication also very important when you're having relationship with others, right? Not only in the friendliness, but also when you're having a romance relationship, communication is clearly very important. Okay. And if information concerning the change is not communicated clearly throughout the organization, then individual will have differing perception and expectations of the change. So you have to make sure that there is sufficient and clear communications among the top management and also the employee. So they will know and understand, and you are going into the same page. And then number three is low risk environment. Low risk environments mean that this kind of organization does not really promote change and tends to punish mistakes. So some organizations were just like very permissive with their employee, so they do not like having what is it, a certain policy that if one employee do something violating the rules or the culture of the corporate, then they will have what is the consequence, what kind of punishment they will get. So this what we call as a low risk environment, because what is it, because this also will lead the what is it, the employee to have a violating behavior. And then the last one is lack of sufficient resources. Okay, what we call as resources here is time, staff, funds, and of course other resources to fully implement the change. Okay, so if there is lack of sufficient resources, then the change effort will be sabotaged. Okay, now here we are going to move on to the organizational identity and culture. So when we talk about identity, individual identity is about the question of who am I, right? Or if it is into organizational context, they will say who we are as an individual, as an organization, right? And according to Albert and Whetten, organizational identity is defined as an enduring, distinctive, and central statement perceived by an organization's members. So it is a set of statements that organization's members perceive to be central, distinctive, and enduring to their organizations. So here, as you can see, that the definition reveals three critical criteria: centrality, distinctiveness, and durability. Okay. Okay, now we have two distinctive terms here: organizational identity and formations of organizational identity. The formation of organizational identity is actually a process of order inter-organizational comparisons, according to Albert. So during the process, members constantly compare their own organizations with target organizations and obtain evaluative information from other parties, which in turn affect members' definition and identity of their own organizations. So like you yourself, you have experience in joining or becoming part of the team member of organization's member. And of course, you know best what is forming your organization in which can be labeled as an organizational identity. Okay, Angela. Hello, Angela. Angela or below?
Hello, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so Angela, um, what kind of organization that you have joined right now, or you becoming part of? As what? Supreme.
Supreme Student Government po.
Okay, Supreme Students Government. Can you mention some of identity in a Supreme, what is it? Supreme Students Government?
It embodies role model for the students po.
Mhm. So you are becoming the representative of the students to speak out their ideas and aspiration. Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Other than that,
SSG officers also establishes a good relationship of the school and the student itself po.
okay, all right. And what marks your organization that can, what does it make? Okay, when we talk about identity can be in the form of uh, an abstract, I mean not abstract, something, the values that we cannot see, and also can be also in terms of attribute they wear. Is there any attribute that you wear that can make people see that this is your organizational identity?
SSG po is like a campus government that um, establishes rules and regulations for the student to behave and act during the class hours po.
Okay, all right. And other than that, do you have any organizational attribute like probably fast or flags or maybe anthem?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question? I wasn't able to hear it because of the noise of the truck.
Okay. And then do you have any other identity that can show your organization, the characteristic or the identity of your organizations, like maybe symbol, what is it, fast, flag, or anthem?
We have a logo, ma'am, but I
Mhm.
wasn't sure with the content.
Oh,
Like I forgot about it.
yes. Yeah. When we talk about organizational identity, some that we can see, some we cannot see it. Okay, just like the value, some of the vision that they have, the mission that they have. This also some of the things that will create the identity of the organization. Okay, now we have the organization. Sorry. Now we have the organizational identity dynamic model according to Hats and Schools. Okay, so here, as you can see, we have organizational cultures and some stakeholders images. Okay, um, like for example, in the example that you just gave on the body of students organization, um, who as the stakeholder there? Who as the stakeholder there? Of course, the students, right? And then also people at school or people in the campus, like the lecturers also, one of the stakeholders, right? The alumni and also probably some of the frustrate or also the freshmen, new students. So what is it? So according to the member, to the model, members express their understanding of their organization culture through their organizational identity. Okay. Just like what you have just now, you mentioned one of your organizational identity is what is it? You keep speak out the aspiration from other students. So that is one of the identity, which actually the expressions or the understanding of your organizational culture. In which your organizational culture is actually what is it? To always what is it? In the point of view or in the perspective of the students. So in which the students want to be here, to be heard by the campus and all the stuff. Okay, and then also the outsider perceptions, yeah, the outsider perceptions. So those who do not belong to the organization, so they also have what is it, affected the organizational identity. Yeah. So what they see, the image of organization that they see, reflected in the central element of the organizational culture. Okay. What do people outside of the organization say about this? What is it? This organization, for example, this organization, you don't really what is it, speak out the students' aspiration, then your identity also will be created by those impression from the people outside your organization. So the identity is not only was created by yourself internally inside the organization, but also how people perceive you as an organization, how your organization image was seen by outsiders, in which in this context is the stakeholders. Okay. So the formation process of organizational identity challenges the criterion that durability. So it is considered as a better condition for organizational change since it provides the organizations with the flexibility and adaptability to respond to the environmental demands. Okay. Okay, now we have organizational culture. Now we have structural stability, depth, and breadth. Okay. So until here, do you have any question before we move on?
None, ma'am.
Thank you. So who knows about structural stability here? What implies from structural stability? We talked about stability, stable. Okay, Jason, perhaps?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I guess the wait, the structural stability. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I guess it's when it comes to culture, the structural stability is the value of seeking a good certain right and kind of culture which they need to influence and effective for the organization. So it is very necessary to have this stability because stability of a group which can function as a whole. So if there is a culture, they need to wait.
Um,
that they function as
excuse
a whole.
me,
Yes. Who is
excuse
that?
me, Veronica. Oh,
Veronica.
Veronica.
Dalawang isip ako na maglagay ng ano.
Is it
Sorry.
Veronica.
Veronica?
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. I will
Veronica.
mute her.
Veronica.
Yes,
Is-
I muted her already.
Okay, okay. I'll just try to explain again, ma'am.
Yes, just
Okay, for
please.
the structural stability of a culture, it is um a values or seeking a good certain values for the members, which is right and kind culture they need to influence and effective for the organization. So stability is necessary when it comes to a group, such as a
Right.
culture, which can function as a whole. So culture is more necessary uh, and have more stability because they can function as a whole in an organization.
Right.
That's it.
Right. So culture is actually hard to change, right? Because group members value stability in that it provides meaning and predictability. Like for example, when you're going to Google, uh, Google have their own working and environment of cultures. Like their working hours is probably different with those who goes into the corporate like bank and as I mentioned before, the culture is hard to change because group members value stability. Thank you, Jason, for your explanation and also your shared ideas. It's very,
You're welcome.
yeah, I really appreciate that. And then, regardless of the interruption that we had from the noise, I hope everyone who is like watching whether they are muted, and please unmute when it is necessary. Thank you. And then the second is depth. So who can tell me about this depth? So we talk about the depth of organizational culture. This is actually the unconscious part of the group. Yeah. So most of the concepts reviewed above can be thought of as manifestations of the cultures, but they are not actually not the sense of what we meant by culture. Okay. And then three is a breadth. So a third characteristic of culture is that once it has developed, it covers all of the group functioning. So culture is pervasive, as it is called in the book. So as in the module, you will find out that it is noted that culture is pervasive. So what it means by this is it influences all aspects of how an organization deals with its primary tasks, its various environment, and its internal operations. As what I mentioned earlier about Google, when we talk about Google, what do you have in your mind about the culture, working culture that they have there? What do you think? What kind of working culture that they have there? This is a quite new working, cultures, I think, instead of some of the white collars employee that you usually find in the corporate or in the bank, for example. Okay, Ronaldin. Hello, Ronaldin.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so do you know Google?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what kind of working culture do they have that you think?
They have like they offer a lot of information about something. They offer a lot of information about something, and when you search in there, you already can find everything you want to find.
Yes, that is one of the Google identity, that you have all information on one click on your fingers, right?
Yes,
Have you
ma'am.
ever seen how they work, the cultural environment that they have?
Can you repeat it, ma'am?
Yes. Have you ever imagined the kind of working culture that they have inside?
Yes, ma'am. It's like hard, but it's a lot of information that they taught, and at the same time they learn from there po.
Okay. Do you think that they will wear something formal to the office, like having ties, suit, and also a blazer? Do you think is that the kind of outfit that they wear to their work?
Yes, ma'am. I think they wear that kind of attire, ma'am, because they have advertisement in Google where some people show their face and they are so what do you call this? They wear attire like that, like what you said, ma'am.
Oh, really? Okay. Um, okay. Later, after we finish this slide, I will show you one video on how they work in their working environment. What kind of culture? I have actually about the corporate cultures. Is one of a very interesting topic. I have ever present these ones in the learning platform that we have in Indonesia. So I will show you later after I finish this. Okay. Yeah. So so this is level of cultures by E.H. Scenes. So we have artifacts as false belief and values and an underlying assumption. So this is what we call as artifact, as what I mentioned earlier, that visible organizational structures and process. So I believe that there must be a structures, organizational structures in every organizations, right? Who becoming the head, who will be the secretary. I don't know in your what is it in your culture. In Indonesia, organization culture always have the chair, and then the vice chair, and then after that secretary, and then after that we are going to have what we call it as bendahara. So bendahara is the one who is in charge with the money, the organization money. So she or he will collect all the money, and then will manage the money based on the what is it on the agreement that they have inside of the organization. And after that, they usually have some sub what is it um, sub what is it domain, like for example one domain work on the consumption or logistic, and then one domain work on the what is it uh, religious things. I don't know whether it happens also in your country, but usually we have one group when we have a kind of event. For example, in the committee we will have one what is it one subdomain which work for the religious thing. Yeah, like they will be the one who in charge to provide the ceremony or the praying to in order to make whatever event successful in the future. So in Bali, most of us are Hindus. Our religion is Hindu, so So we usually that what is it, that domains of a group of group members work on the offerings that they offer to God. Okay, and then we also have a subdomain in the organization which work on the we call it kesekretariatan. So they work on the letter, email, or the circulations of information from the email that they send in from that organization to outside of the organization. Okay, so that's we call as structures. And also we also have an exposed belief and values. So in this exposed belief and values, we have strategies, goal, and philosophies. And then there is also an underlying assumption. Okay, as I told you before that I'm going to share you the video that I have when I present on the organizational culture. Would you hold on for seconds? Okay, so this is a Google Office representatives in Indonesia. So please watch this video, and then after that, please tell me your what do you think about the the organizational identity that they have. I'm very sorry that the video will be in Bahasa Indonesia, but I hope you can grab it from some of the scene or the video that you see. Okay.
Antara lain work balance life itu berarti gym, dimana bisa dilihat itu gymnya. Terus udah gitu di sini juga biasanya nih ada pingpong table.
Oke.
Jadi biasanya habis makan siang gitu kan, daripada ngantuk-ngantuk habis makan siang, main pingpong deh kita.
Hampir semua kantor Google di seluruh dunia itu pasti ada refreshing area, atau mungkin ada gymnya, ada tempat buat main, atau mungkin just to sit down and relax.
Yep.
Apakah ini jadi salah satu kunci untuk karyawan-karyawannya selalu termotivasi, selalu mau bekerja dan loyal? Apakah ini jadi salah satu kunci utamanya?
Kita percaya bahwa happy staff result to happy products. and they will stay with us. Karena pada dasarnya kalau orang itu kerja kan dia senang sama environment-nya, dia senang ke kantor, dia pengen ke kantor karena pengen ketemu teman-temannya, pengen ngerjain project-project yang menarik gitu, assignment-assignment yang menarik, mereka akan loyal. Tapi yang terutama juga kami sangat menghargai karyawan kami. Karena Google itu bisa jadi Google seperti sekarang karena karyawannya kok. Kita nggak jadi hebat karena wah Toto hebat gitu, enggak. Tapi semuanya itu karena karyawan.
Okay, so that is actually the what is it? Google Office representative in Indonesia. Now, who can tell me from the clip that you have just seen some of the identity or working cultures that they have in Google? Maybe who? Raise your hand. Okay, Vina, please.
From what I observed in the video, ma'am, I guess the company values collaboration.
How do you know that they values collaboration from what?
From what I saw in the video, members of that organization, they are close. It seems like they are close to each other. And
Okay. Is it my internet or Vina Lowe's? Okay, Rolando, please.
Ma'am, I think the company's identity, they encourage fun workplace, fun and comfortable workplace, as seen as to the design of the building where they are in. They have seats that looks like very comfortable for the members or for the employees. They also have very colorful interior design. So I think that's one that shows the company's identity or organizational identity.
Okay, why do you think that they design it as colorful as possible? Why? Why color?
I think those color I think are based on the logo of Google. So that's why they design it like that to match the logo like that now.
And also one of their working culture is about creativity, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so creativity comes from probably they want to they want to make people more creative by showing them more more color. So colorful environment perhaps will giving more inspirations for the employee to work because I think Google is also part of the creative industry, right? Okay,
Yes,
thank you, Rolando. I think that is very high. And also the others, please. Oh, from Jericho. The work environment provides an ideal environment in which members can work comfortably and creatively. Yeah, I agree with you. Right. Maybe others? Alma. Yes, please, Alma.
Yes, ma'am. So according to the video, ma'am, the organizational identity that I observed is the working culture offers very relaxing and comfortable place to the employees, ma'am.
Right. And also actually in the video they talk about the work balance. So this is one value that Google have in the Indonesian representative's office about the work balance. that they really do want that the employee, it's not only about going to Google only for work, but also they want also to promote that they also need to balance their life. It's not only about working hard, but also play hard. So after they work, they are there are also some facilitation for them to relax, like to have nap or do some play. So Google believes that after the employee having some relaxation or having rest, they will even more productive than before. And also they will feel more appreciated by the corporate, by the organization, the place where they work on. Thank you so much, Alma. I really appreciate what you just said. That is very, very true as well. Any other, please? Okay, thank you so much. If there is no more, no more, probably no more aspirations from you, then do you have any question before we end our class today? So for next topic is module 5, and I think Manolin also have posted the quiz for you on assignment in the Google Classroom. I hope you checked it, and also do the assignment. And we are going to meet again on can we meet again on Thursday like today? Can we meet again on
Sure, ma'am. Sure po.
Yes, ma'am.
same time? Thank you. Thank you. So we are going to meet again for module 5, the same day and the same time like today. But anyway, thank you so much for you all. Thank you for thank you for participating also. That's very nice of you. That's very kind of you also. So let's call it a day. Thank you. Stay safe and healthy, everyone.